Hello, my name is Trelace Sigo, and today we are going to learn to bead on a loom. I'm also going to run through the supplies that we use, or that I use preferably, starting with string. So this is the type of string. It's, I can't really pronounce that, sorry. Anyways, this is the type. It's a thread Nemo, I think is what it is, but it's size D. It's kind of like a nylon thread. It works really well. That's what I prefer. I have an open spool here. This is kind of how it is. There's bigger ones, and I think this is the smallest one, but you can get in different abundances. Then going over to the type of beads that I will be using today, although there are different types. There are seed beads. These are Delcas. And what I like about them the most is they're really uniform shape. A lot of them are fairly shiny. There are some matte finishes. And how you identify what size they are is right here. They're size 10s, 11s. This is 14. Then there's 15s and they're smaller. When you're ordering on Shipwreck, 9 grams, this is what 9 grams is. And you can get a lot of projects done with it. This is the type of black beads that I use. Don't follow this number. That's not the sizes. These are all the colors we'll be using today. This right here, it is actually a paint tray. I use it to divide my beads so they're not mixed up. Sometimes I'll use leather also. And this is the design we'll be going off of today. I just printed it off Google. I find it's the easiest when you're first starting. I went through and decided which color is going to be where. So like yellow's here, the black's going to be right here, the teal is going to be this line here, the red will be this shiny one here, going down to orange, and then black will be in here. And this is your basic loom. You can actually order them from Shipwreck also. They come in kits. The beads with the kit are seed beads, size 11. Sadly, I don't have any seed bead hanks with me to show you how to identify those sizes, but it's similar to how these ones are. Like, you're going to see all these numbers and letters, and you're going to want to follow the first numbers. So we are going to start stringing our loom. Some people use the whole loom. I'm only doing 10 rows because my pattern's only 9 beads wide. Let me get this straight on here. So I tie a knot because sometimes it's hard to go around the screw that's over here, and I'll show you in just a second. Okay, 1 second, I'm just gonna take it off. And what I'm doing is just doing the beginning knots. I think I picked the wrong time to do my nails, guys. Okay, and we got our knot on that screw right there. Okay, now it's in place. Now is what we do is we decide where we're going to start. So what you want to do is you want to keep your string just like this in between each of these slots. So I'm going to start over here, and this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 away from the edge. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to count 6 spots over. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And you go down to the screw right here and you wrap around it. Then you go into the slot right next. There we go. And you come over and you do the same thing here. And you do the same thing on this side. You come back up again. Sometimes I'll alternate sides. So, like with the other side, I went like this and around. Sometimes I'll alternate it and do this. It's really up to you. So that's the amount of string I needed. So then I'm just gonna wrap it around here a couple of times. And I cut it a little longer so you have enough to tie a knot. Sadly, because my nails are long right now, it's hard to tie it around that screw, so I'm just gonna tie it down here. There we go. So you see there's a couple of loose strings. It's okay. All you have to do is unscrew this right here. Just loosen it a little bit, and then you're going to twist this down. So you went from being really loose to now being really tight. You want it to have a good little bounce. You want it to be able to bounce just a little bit. If you pull too tight, it'll make your strings get all fringed and they can snap on you. Now we are going to thread our needle. This is actually a size 12. You can usually, I like using, it's like a yellow and black pack. And you can, the size is on the top right corner. So now we're going to tie a knot on one of our strings. I like to leave a little extra of a tail for if you ever have to go back into something, you have a little bit of give to be able to backtrack. So now that is tied onto one of our far side strings. Now we're going to look at our pattern here. And I'm going to start right here. So as I draw lines, so these are 9 different beads. So I got to count 1, 2, 3. And because I chose to do yellow for that one, I'm going to pick 3 yellow up. And then the next one is going to be black, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4 blacks. And then I picked teal for that one, there's only 1. And then I chose this color to be red, and there's only 1 red. So some people like to do this part going over top. I like to do underneath. I feel like it's a lot easier. I am going to twist this around because I am right-handed. So what you want to do is you want to line up your beads going in between each string, just like that. So you want a piece of string in between each bead. And this is going from underneath, so you can see how it's under there. We want to, the whole point is to be able to wrap the string so they stay in place. So now we're going to go through the beads over top. So you want your needle to stay above, just like this, but in the beads. There we go, we got your first row. And I'm going to go under, so I'm already kind of set up there. Now we go into the second row. So it looks like I got one black bead and two yellow beads. And then 3 black beads. And I'm grabbing my beads like this because it's just easier. One thing with having trays with small sections, it's kind of hard to grab them. That's how come I usually lay leather down, but I'm also pretty clumsy and manage to snag it sometimes, and I don't feel like having beads all over my office. So now we're going to go up again. The first few rows are kind of difficult. After the first couple, they just go right into place. As you're witnessing right now. And again, because we're underneath, we're going to go over top. And through. And pull tight. See, right after you get used to it, they pop right into place. And again, we're going to go through, but over the string. And we're going to do one last row, and then I've already prepped one, so I can show you guys how to do the backing and cutting it off, the loom. See, and right after you pretty much do the first 2 or 3 rows, it just pops right into place. And there you have it. There's that. Now we're gonna hop over to the one I have prepped. Okay, here it is. Oops. So that is the start. There's my tail, there's the beginning. I am going to hold on to this up away from everything because I want to be able to use it to tie down. So I just did that last row. What I'm going to do is I'm going to intertwine this back through into this row. And then I'm going to tie a knot right here. So if you look, there's that string that comes down that we're hugging around. I'm going to tie a knot right in here. So there's a little knot, you don't even notice it. Then I'm going to go back through that row. And then back through another row. And the reason why I'm doing this is so my knot is secure. Because when we cut this off, sometimes things get loose. Another trick that I was taught was to get tape. Now I'm going to move this a little towards the middle. There we go. So I'm going to get tape and I'm going to pinch it only a little bit because you don't want it to pucker and you want it to still lay flat. And because tape's right there, I'm going to push my beads up all the way up there. Okay, you see how it's a little more slender than the beads, but it's not puckering them. I'll do the same to this side. Okay, so now there you have it. Now we're going to cut our strings off. There we go. Oh, and silly me, I cut my string. Oh well. So now, is what you do is you tuck it behind your beadwork. So then you don't have strings. There we go. Now, I use tacky glue on some occasions. Sometimes I don't. But on this one, we're going to. I like using thinner leather. It's more like suede in a way. It's got the shiny side and then the velvety side. I feel that my needle goes through it a lot easier, so that's what we're going to use. And I'm going to put glue right there. Right now I'm just sizing it because the tape is sticking out a little bit. Okay. So I'm just putting glue on the tape. Okay, there's that part. Now I'm gonna grab my needle and string. And what I'm gonna do to help tack it down is I'm gonna go up through the middle. Right there on the edge. And I'm just gonna go over one bead. Just like that. So I went up one side. And then pulled it through. Now I'm going to cut around this. I'm just being really careful with the beads because I don't want to accidentally cut them. Just run through the back side. And close. It's just like that, and we want to go between each bead. So what we're doing is we're sealing the edge right here. So you see how you close the edge? You just go in between each bead and do like that. And then if you want to get really fancy, what you do is you pick up a bead. And you get ready to go in between the beads. You can go back through, so the beads on there like that. You go back through. And you got yourself a fringe starting there. Do another one. I would really suggest using a glover's needle or a leather needle for this part, just because leather is kind of difficult, but a size 12 needle does pretty well. So you got yourself a fringe starting. So that is how you loom and how you end it. Get yourself a stitch on the back here. Oops. You just kind of watch the back. And there's beadwork.